the ability to calm yourself is a very important skill when confronted with chronic pain. Hello. So good to see you again. How did you go this week with your gratitude practice? Yeah? Were there any things that kept coming up or... Okay. It can feel a bit silly at first. It's putting yourself into a space that you probably haven't been in. It can take time to adjust to that, so that's perfectly normal. So, yeah, it can take longer than a week to really feel the benefits in that way. So, how did you do with doing two things? Okay, well then this week, I'm just gonna have you up it to 3, okay? 3 is a lovely number, so you could even be grateful for the number 3. At least that's what I think. But I want to move now into the skill that we're going to be looking at today, and that is calming. And so there's a reason that we use the word calming rather than relaxation. Relaxation conjures actually quite different things to different people and what that may mean. Whereas when we're talking about calming, there are 2 points that we really want to talk about. And this is a very important aspect of chronic pain management. When you experience pain, it triggers the fight or flight instinct, increasing your adrenaline, and in acute episodes, this is very helpful. It's designed to get you out of bad situations or to encourage you to seek help as may be needed. But when that pain becomes a chronic condition, you then have the problem of overactive fight or flight, and that causes stress in the long term and can give you negative health outcomes. So being able to calm yourself when you're feeling pain is important for anyone, but it's essential for those who experience chronic pain like you do. And so there are 2 aspects to calming. The first aspect is to de-escalate the stress response. It's to get your body out of that flight mode. So we're going to do a little exercise here, okay? So I'm just going to have you sit here for 30 seconds, and we're just going to count the number of breaths you take, okay? You can just count to yourself, and we'll just say it at the end. Okay, how many breaths? Okay. Now I want to show you how to use diaphragmatic breathing. And it's a deep breathing technique. So a lot of people, when they breathe, which I was looking and you do as well, your shoulders will lift as you're breathing. And what's interesting and what I have found is I think a lot of that is by our desire to keep our tummies tucked in and smooth. So if you see, if I keep my tummy tucked in and breathe, I'm much more likely to breathe up into my shoulders. So with diaphragmatic breathing, I'm going to have you put your hand on your tummy and kind of just rest a little bit. Now move your hand just out a little bit so you can't feel. And when you breathe in, push out towards your hand. And you can just kind of let that go now. I'm just going to just count your breaths again. Okay, how many breaths? So you see that's decreased the number of breaths you're taking, thus lengthening out your breath, and helps to decrease your stress. And that's a universal method. You can use it anytime, anywhere, and anyone can do that. So it's really great, and you do see it utilized a lot in different practices which are known for helping maintain a sense of calm. But the second part of calming is a little different in that it tends to be less universal. There's no real one-size-fits-all technique. So if we think about calming, the first part is to basically relieve those fight or flight symptoms. But you also want to move yourself into a positive space. You want to create endorphins. And so that's the second part of calming. And there are some things that work for some people that other people don't like. It's very individual. So I more so like to expose you to the different options, and I can give you resources or give suggestions on how you can adopt different aspects, but it's something where you really want to have a little bit of a play and find what works for you. So, for example, yoga is a practice that can be very calming. It can be a very positive experience for people. But sometimes with the nature of pain that people experience, they may feel worse after doing yoga than they did before. So it's not necessarily the best option. Some people love guided meditations, the mental freedom from the body to go off and explore fantastical, beautiful lands. But often for guided meditations, you're fairly sedentary, you're in a still state, and that doesn't necessarily work well for everyone. So what I'm going to do is I've prepared a list. Just look, see what might work for you. We have examples like Tai Chi, yoga, guided meditation. Some people watch ASMR videos. There's a whole host of options there for you. And the best thing to do is just to have a play and see what works for you. But you definitely want to have at least one go-to strategy so that when you feel the need to really calm yourself, that you have that available. It can even be just taking a nice warm bath surrounded in candles. The options are endless and very individual, depending on what works for you. Okay? So hopefully that will help you imbue yourself with a greater sense of calm so you can combat that fight or flight instinct in yourself. And so then next week we can focus on our fourth strategy, balancing, a very important strategy. So for this week, remember to breathe, 3 things to be grateful for, and just try at least one off of that list I